Well, happy Monday once again, everyone. Bryan Devore with the Devore Realty Group and the Director of the Senior Division, Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, California Properties. It is the first Monday of May, and it is also Older Americans Month. So happy Older Americans Month. And if you look at the constant contact email that this video is part of, you'll see an interesting article on how much housing wealth older Americans have. It's quite a bit of money, but let's jump into this week's report. We have the latest stats and why they may be telling sort of a mixed message story of what the market's doing. The S&P CoreLogic CaseShiller index is out. So we'll look at those numbers. Homes are still more affordable than their 2006 peak. Interesting. And what do Americans believe adds the most value to a home? And there is discrepancy between what buyers think and what sellers think. So we'll want to look at that in just a moment, especially if you're a buyer or a seller. Okay, let's jump into the totals. Right now, we have 2,636 homes for sale in San Diego County. It's an increase of 138, which is higher than it was the week before that as well. So inventory as a whole, definitely on the rise. Meanwhile, pending sales, 3,216, up a little bit, up 3 from last week. Months of inventory has been on the rise over the last few weeks, 0.90. Months of inventory, you take the total number of homes for sale divided by the number of sales over the month before, and that tells you what the months of inventory is. It has been on the rise. Still not yet at 1 month of inventory, however. Okay, what's new this week versus last week? We had new actives of 1,138. That's down 36 from last week. So 36 fewer homes came on the market this past week than the week before. But meanwhile, new pendings were up 89. 685. So more pendings took place over the last week than the week before. New pendings listed within the last week, 46. So 7% of the homes that went pending were only on the market for a week. That's down. It had been around 9 or 10%. New pendings listed within the last 2 weeks, 438, 64%. That had been sort of at its peak of 75%. So at that time, 3/4 of the homes were selling in 2 weeks or less. Are we going to see this translate into closed sales in the coming month or two? We'll find out, but let's take a look at the last week's closed sales. 576 total closed sales, down a little bit, 5 from last week. $861,000 was the median list price. That's up $12,000 from last week. But meanwhile, the median sales price went down $2,500 to $890,000. So bigger jump in the median list price, but a little bit of a decrease median sales price. Average days on market was 12, no change from last week. But again, we'll see over the next month or two when those pendings become closed sales, if we're going to see that number go up. What was the least expensive sale last week? A $95,000 home in El Cajon, which sold above list price. And the most expensive sale was a home in Del Mar for $7,700,000. It actually sold below list price. Thought that was an interesting stat to throw out there. Here's the bar graph showing the new actives, pendings, and solds. You can see how the kind of a wobbly trend going up, going down. We're going to have to see how this stabilizes over the next few weeks. A lot of it reflective of what interest rates are doing and what people are concerned about what's going on in the market. Median list price and median sales price numbers in the graph as well. Okay, the S&P CoreLogic CaseShiller Index. It's a good report because it takes a home that sold and compares it to the last time it sold. So if the home sold, in February of this year, the last time it sold was 5 years earlier for maybe 20% less or 30% less. As an example, it shows you exactly what the market's doing for that home, and it takes numbers across the board. The U.S. National Price NSA Index reported a 19.8% increase over last year. The 10-city composite, which takes the 10 largest metros, was up 18.6%. The 20-city composite was up 20.2%. That takes the first 10 and the next 10 as well, so the bigger metros. San Diego was up 29.1% year over year and 4.5% month over month. Those are big numbers. In fact, the highest month over month in the 20-city composite was San Diego County at 4.5%. Year over year, San Diego was about 4th or 5th, but number one on the list for appreciation month over month was our own San Diego County. Real house prices still below 2006 peak. And we look at real house prices, we take what the house price actually is, but it's relative to what people's incomes are doing and what interest rates are doing. And in 2006, Interest rates were not as low as they are now, even with the increases in interest rates. And incomes have gone up quite a bit since 2006. So how does that affect buying power? So consumer house buying power, which is how much one can buy based on changes in income and interest rates, actually decreased 3.6% month over month and decreased 6.8% year over year. It's an affordability issue. Median household income has increased 5.1% since February of last year. So we have seen an increase in income. However, housing prices, as we know, have gone up more than the 5.1%. While adjusted house prices are now 48.8% above the housing boom peak in 2006. So think about that. We're up almost 50% above the peak of 2006. Real house buying power, adjusted house prices, remain 25.8% below their peak because incomes have gone up and interest rates have gone down. So homes are still more affordable than they were in 2006. A good indication of why we're not in a bubble. We're not going to see it popping anytime soon. Finally, what do Americans believe adds the most value to their home? Well, perceived value added by each feature. This is something I saw, an email I got from Realtor.com, and architectural features and exterior features. You can see number one for the interior architectural features was vaulted ceilings, $19,621. That's perceived value. It's not valued by an appraiser or anyone else. It's just perceived value. Large number of windows was number two, open floor plan, and upgraded roof. Exterior features, 2-car garage, really having a garage and then it being 2 cars, and then single garage, attached outdoor living space, and a large backyard. Top 5 features home buyers valued, higher than homeowners. So interesting. So the top 5 features with vaulted ceilings, home buyers had a perceived value of $27,000, but homeowners only $16,700. So there's a discrepancy, there's a disconnect between buyers and sellers of what they think is valuable in a home. Large number of windows, 2-car garage, open floor plan, and single car garage, all those categories right there. And again, you can see the differential out of the 1,002 respondents to the survey between home buyers and home sellers. And finally, location, location, location always matters the most. In general, a desirable location led to a perceived increase in value of 30%, quite a big jump, over a typical home, which equated to $96,337 price difference. Perception of value change by school district was up quite a bit, $77,000 if you're in a highly rated school area versus down $59,000 in a poorly rated school area. And perception of value added, proximity to outdoor recreation, etc. So some good information here. So if you're looking to buy a home, you may be thinking differently than a seller and vice versa. Something to think about. That's it for this week's Monday Market Moment. Hope you enjoyed the information. We're going to really watch this market and see how it plays out. All we've seen over the last couple of years is increase, increase, increase. We're going to really watch and see what happens with the market, with interest rates, how they affect home values, how they affect people's buying patterns and so forth. It'll be fun to watch. I hope you enjoyed this week's report, and I look forward to seeing you next week in the next Monday Market Moment. Have a great day.